Let's talk a little bit about the NFL story of the day. Did you hear this about James Harrison? Akbar, have you heard about this?
I heard the $75,000 that he was fined for that big hit, and Mike Tomlin just gave him an envelope, like on the streets, like, yo, here you go, clean that up kind of thing. I'm kind of baffled by that, but I always know that I knew James Harrison has this issue with Mike Tomlin because he and who's the other guy, Antonio Brown, that they've kind of partnered up and they've kind of been buddied, and it looks like, from me, just and again, I don't know that locker room, have not been in it, and I'm not saying whether he's lying or not. I don't know, but I do know that they partnered up, him and Antonio, on this smear campaign against Mike Tomlin. So it's odd that it would come out at this time. I don't know why he would give him $75,000 when James Harrison's making, an uber amount of money more than Mike Tomlin. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, let's just throw it all out there then. But in your 5 seasons of playing in the NFL and multiple seasons of covering it and knowing as many players as you do, have you ever heard of something like that where
never
an envelope is handed to a player?
No. I mean, I think there's a lot of stories out there about the Oakland Raiders. The bad boys of sports and bad boys of football. And I've seen some crazy things when I was with the Raiders. But that, to me, if that was going to happen, that would happen under the myth and the mystique of the Oakland Raiders. I mean, I don't know what coach is making that kind of cheese to just go, yo, here's 75 racks for that hit that we know you're going to get fined for, and so here you go. I'm going to pay your bill for it. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, and it's so out of character for Tomlin, too.
Right.
I mean, that just makes no sense that Tomlin's going to be like, okay, great hit, and and days after the hit, he's still so intense and outraged by it. He's going to find a whole bunch of cash, stick it in an envelope, and hand it to James Harrison, who hasn't said anything about it for 10 years.
I think what you have to do is you kind of have to look at the relationship to be able to get a little bit more behind this story. Just because you put something out there, especially right now, I think the sports world, we're starving for stories, and this is a great way if you're going to, maybe engage in a smear campaign or just to get your name floating out there. You put a story out front like that. But how do you verify something like that? Where are you going to go on a paper chase? You're going to go look at 10 years. I think after every 7 years, don't they erase your bank statements or something? I don't know.
I don't even know.
I don't think you can go more than 7 years and get your bank records. So how do they even find that? You know what I mean?
Akbar Gbajabiamila here on the Rich Eisen Show. And there's one thing that Harrison did point out on what is this, his Instagram feed today, Chris, when he brings
yes.
is that there was he did get caught up in what the NFL was doing at the time, which was midstream in the middle of the season, changing the way that they were asking players, like they added a point of emphasis mid-season, which never happens. That never, ever happens. They usually will add a point of emphasis in the off-season or in the preseason if you want to be late, but very rare will they say, we're going to add a point of emphasis on hitting somebody in the game. And because, as Harrison points out, the hit on Massaquoi was not flagged. And it was, fined later on, that happens all the time in the NFL. But I remember that. Remember that? It was that hit. It was the hit that Dante Robinson blew up Deshaun Jackson, and then Brandon Merriweather went top rope on Todd Heap. So, he is kind of right about that.
Nice with the WWE reference. But, I do remember that hit, and I also remember that time. And that was a very frustrating time, too, for players, the defense players, just because it's like, a lot of that has to do with muscle memory. And now you're telling me to change that, especially when, those bang-bang plays and instincts. It's very hard to just say, hey, and then we're going to fine you because you can't turn that off. That's awkward. That was weird. But who knows? I wonder where this story goes. I don't know that it goes far, though, Rich, to be honest with you, unless he can show that he's got bank statement and proof of that $75,000 in an envelope.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.